So today we'll start with the summary accounts. So let me open my BR100 summary accounts. And also open my running note sheet. So I had completed the training material for the entire general ledger module, including the topics which we'll be discussing today. So once today's session is done, I will share this document. So it is very good document, very nice, even clearly given the navigation, screenshots, and the explanation of the functionality. So you should get the entire required information. So let me just go to the summary accounts. Where did I mention this? Yeah. Okay, so what is summary account and what is the significance of the summary account? So before we get into the significance of the summary account, first we need to understand the concept of parent-child relationship. Okay, so in Oracle, I mean, as now in our current example, we got how many segments do we have in our chart of accounts? We got six segments, and our segments are company, cost center, account, sub account, product, and intercompany. So for each of the segments, we got some segment values. Say for company, we got a segment value of 01, 02, 03, 04, and 05. And for cost centers also, we got different cost center like 0000, 0001, 0110, something like that. So these are all different segment values. So when you're creating a segment values, we have an option to create a parent value also. So when you create a parent value, you can group child values into a parent value. So I can show you that functionality. Go to setup, financials, flex fields, key, values. This is the screen where you define the segment value. So you can create that parent-child relationship for any of the segments. So today for our current discussion, we'll take national account segment as an example. So what is the value set of our national account?
Operations account.
Operations account. So so where did we assign this value set to our segment? In which screen did we assign this value set to our segment?
Flex field definition.
Yeah, in the chart of accounts definition. In the chart of accounts definition, Reliance Accounting Flexible Chart of Accounts definition, we have specified that these are my six segments. For each of the segments, we have specified this is my value set. Okay. So now we are picking up the value set related to our segment. If you do not remember the value set, the other option would be, so by default, you will be under key flex field. You can enter other criteria. What is the application? General ledger. What is the title? Accounting flex field. What is the structure? Reliance. And what is the segment? Account. And click on find. Okay. So here we have so many different accounts. And when you are defining an account, you specify your account number, the description, and then here you specify your flex field qualifier, whether allow budgeting is allowed or posting is allowed, and what is the account type and the other flags. Okay. Similarly, there is a checkbox called parent. Okay. Now try to query for existing childs which are already defined as a parent. So I'm doing F11, check this checkbox, and then control F11, which will retrieve me the list of all the existing parent assets. Okay, so take an example of say accounts receivable total. Okay, so you can click on define child ranges. This button define child ranges will be enabled only for the segments which are identified as the parent. If you do not check this checkbox, this will be grayed out. Okay, so take an example of accounts receivable total. So that is the parent. Okay, in general for all the parents, allow posting will be no, because you are not supposed to do a data entry at the parent level. Always do a data entry at the child level, and when you are running a report, you can run the report by selecting the parent segment, so that system is going to sum up the balances for all the childs under that particular parent. Okay, for accounts receivable, click on define child ranges. So here you can specify what are the segments which forms this particular which are part of this particular parent. So 12001 to 1299, all the segments or all the child values of 12001 to 1299 will be forming part of this particular parent. So when you are defining a parent, you have got an option to select the childs, as well as you can even select some other parent as also as a child for this particular parent. So if you want to select some other parent, then here include parent values. So you need to select include parent values, and you need to specify that particular range. Okay, so but to make it simple, a parent is a group of child, so you can specify what are those childs which forms this particular parent. So that is what is called parent child relationship. So the significance of this is whenever you are running some reports, you can just in the report you can just select from values 1200 and to values 1200, then system is going to display all the values which sums up from 1201 to 1299. Of course, there are some kind of limitations within the Oracle as far as the standard reports are concerned. In some standard reports, the parent values will work. In some reports, parent values may not work. So in those reports wherein parent value will not work, you need to use only the child values. Okay, so that is the concept of the parent child relationship. Okay, we can use this parent childs when you are defining something called summary account. Okay, so what is the significance of the summary account? So if you see the definition, general ledger uses the something called summary template to create summary account whose balances are sum of the multiple detail accounts. Use summary accounts to perform online summary inquiries, as well as you can speed up the processing of running of the financial statement generator reports. So in my next topic, when I'm when I'm talking about the financial statement generator report, so there also I'll be using the parent segments. Okay, so you understood now what is the how you need to define the parents and how you need to link the childs to the parent. And there is something called roll-up group. You need to understand what is the roll-up group. Roll-up group is sum of parents. Okay, so sum of childs is a parent, and you can assign the same roll-up group to multiple parents, and then you can use this roll-up groups in the summary template. So the hierarchy is something like define childs, group those childs into a parent, group all the parents into a roll-up group, and use the roll-up group in the summary template or summary account template. Okay, so now we will try to query existing parents where my roll-up group is expenses. Okay, I just want to use this expenses roll-up group in my summary template. So there are three parents for which roll-up group expenses is allowed. So roll-up group is a combination of parents. And now when how you can assign this roll-up group here, you need to first define this particular roll-up group in some other screen, come back to this particular screen and associate this particular roll-up group to this parents. Okay, I'll show you that screen where you specify your roll-up group. So in that particular
But
script, I'm just defining the roll-up group name.
But Arvind, why is the defined child ranges is not enabled for these accounts?
One sec. Structure. F11. Okay, it's a good question. Okay, so what I had observed is once the roll-up group is assigned, system is not allowing us to make any changes to the childs, and this is grayed out. I need to go and uncheck the freeze roll-up group checkbox in the chart of accounts definition, and then come back to this particular screen and check whether the define child ranges is allowed. Okay, but in this test environment, there is actually a catch. I'll show you that what is the catch, because I've been testing on that in the same instance. Go to the flex fields definition where you define your chart of accounts. So what is our chart of accounts? Okay, so there is a checkbox called freeze roll-up groups. Okay, ideally in order to enable that particular define child ranges, that is wherein you want to make some changes to the childs, you need to first unfreeze this. Okay, I mean first you need to unfreeze the freeze flexible definition, unfreeze this, go back there and make the changes. But you can ask a question like, oh, in this case it's already unfrozen, why is that still defined child ranges is what do you call disabled? The reason being, what the Oracle document says is this particular value set, okay, all the chart of account segment where this particular value set, I mean this is the value set where you are actually now defining the parent child relationship and where you are associating the roll up group. So all the chart of accounts wherein this particular value set is used, you need to uncheck this freeze roll up group checkbox. I mean, in a real life scenario, there could be only one or two, or maybe it could be only one. But now, unfortunately, this being a testing environment, there are so many. I had observed that there are so many different chart of accounts which were created by so many people who are testing, and in those chart of accounts, they have actually used this my operations account value set. Okay, but in a real world, that defined child ranges should be enabled. Does this answer your question, Pradeep?
Okay, so you're saying for all the chart of account definitions, it should be unchecked, right? Only then that will be enabled.
Exactly, yes. And I was trying to do that,
Okay.
but like what has happened is I thought of trying to do that, but there are close to I think 150 chart of accounts segments, and there are some restrictions like for in some of the chart of accounts when I try to do that, I'm getting a kind of a form personalization message. So somebody has did some form personalization in this page wherein it is throwing an extra message wherein it is not allowing others to make those changes. So looks like that particular person is a smart guy. He do not want any other person to make the changes on his chart of account structure, so he has put that form personalization. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay. So I was about to show you the screen where we define the roll-up groups. Okay, so if you do not know the navigation, percentage group percentage, click on find roll-up groups. Okay, so roll-up group is again for a particular value set. So what is our value set? Operations account. Again, you can create a roll-up group for each of the segment values. Okay, see here you can see so many different roll-up groups. So this is the roll-up group which we are actually now trying to pick. Again, here and now I can create a new roll-up group, but unfortunately there the roll-up group field is not enabled because of the same story, because the unfreeze roll-up group checkbox is, I mean, freeze roll-up group checkbox is not checked for is already checked for so many different chart of accounts where we are using this particular value set. So that is the reason why for our today's training purpose, I picked up one of the existing roll-up group. I mean, if you want to create a roll-up group, it's simple. Click on place button and you can create the roll-up group, and you can associate this particular roll-up group to parents. Okay, should clear this. Clear record. Okay. So this is the roll-up group. This is only just a name. Okay, it do not have any significance at this stage until and unless you associate this roll-up group to a parent. Okay. So I pick up this particular roll-up group, close this. Now again go back to your segment values, operations, account. Okay, F11. So in an ideal world, what you can do is you can query for the parents, put your cursor here, and then you should be able to associate that Rollup group. Okay. So, but as I'm not able to do that, so what I did is I am now picking up the parents to which my Rollup group is assigned. Okay. So now I'm picking up three parents: 5,000 parent, 6,000 parent, and 7,000 parent. So basically, 5,000 parent includes all the expense accounts which falls under this cost of sales and services category, and 6,000 includes all the employee related expenses: payroll taxes, health and welfare, workers and compensation, commission paid, bonus paid, and so on. So and 7,000 includes all the operating expenses. So more or less all different kind of expenses in our system are categorized into any of these three parents. Now in my summary template, I just use a roll-up group of expenses. So once that is done, then what will happen is, using that particular summary template, I can just do an inquiry, or I can use that summary inquiry summary templates in some other screens. The first example would be account inquiry. So using that particular summary template, I should be able to see the sum of all expenses under one particular company. If you do not have the summary account, the problem is, as you know, in Oracle, the balance is stored at something called account code combination, right? So the account code combination should be something like 0100 is a department, hyphen account is, say, this is the expense account, and then 00000. Okay. And again there could be expense something like, so there are hundreds of permutations and combinations. If you want to just see what is the total expenses, this is a simple question which can be asked by any accountant. I want to see what is the total expenses under my company. Unfortunately, as if you go to your account inquiry, okay, if you are not using the summary template functionality, if you go to account inquiry account, okay, sorry, we are in vision operations now, we need to go to our responsibility, general ledger, supervisor, Reliance INR, inquiry account, September 17 is our period. Okay. So if you want to see under company 01, the list of all expenses. So all the expenses all the expense account starts from 5,000 and it goes on up to, I think, 799 something. Okay. See, there are hundreds of combinations, or I mean, rather in this case it's only around 11, but otherwise if you start using that, there will be hundreds of combinations. And if you want to see a sum of all my expenses, you need to click on show balances, pick up this amount, put it in Excel sheet, 6,100, pick up this amount and put it in Excel sheet and do a sum of all those expenses. That is one way of doing it. The other way is run your trial balance. Even if you run your trial balance is going to show you, say, hundreds of rows, because even in the trial balance it shows the sum of the, it shows at least the, there are different kind of trial balance. In some trial balance, again, it shows the balances at each account code combination level, and there are some trial balance wherein it will show the balance at each national account level. So that means if you got, say, okay, so it is going to show you at this level, that is like the sum of all the code combination where your national account is same. But even then it could be, say, if there are, say 200 different accounts which are being used, then it will show 200 lines. You do not want to even see the 200 lines, you just want to see a kind of a single line per company. So how we can achieve that? We can achieve that using a summary account. So you create something called summary account, and then you can come back to this particular screen, and then you can do a inquiry based on the summary account. As of now, I did not create any summary account, and hence it is not showing any summary accounts in the list of values. Now we'll try to create a summary account. So our objective is now to create a one particular summary account for my company code of 01 and for all the expenses. So go back to my BR100, use this navigation, setup, financials, flex fields, key, We have already created the Rollup group. So we have already assigned that Rollup groups to the parent segments. Okay. Setup accounts summary. That's the navigation to create the summary template. Setup accounts summary. Okay. You give any meaningful name to your summary template. So the name which I want to give is total expenses. That is the name. And what is the ledger? Reliance INR ledger. Okay. And then template. Okay. You want to see the sum of expenses at a particular company code level. Okay. It could be 01 company code, 02 company code, or 03. So just say detail. So here we got couple of options, detail or total. Okay, when I say detail, it is going to give me 01, 02, 03, 04, and 05. If I say total, then for all the companies it is going to sum up. I do not want to sum up for all the companies. I want to sum up at a company level. So detail. And as far as the department is concerned, I want a total for all the departments. And as far as the account is concerned, I want to use the roll up group expenses, sub account, total, product, total, intercompany, total. Okay. Okay. And what is the earliest period from which you want to start using this? So in our case, we started entering transactions only from September. So we'll say September. Okay. Save this. So once you save this, the status will be in adding status. That is, it is trying to add the summary template to the database. So a concurrent request got triggered. Ensure that the request is completed. Once the request is completed, come back to this particular screen, and here you should be able to see the status as current, or I think it's current or open. So only once the status is current or open, then you can start using this summary template. Okay. Let us check the request. It's in pending standby. Wait for the parent to be completed. So whenever you create a summary template, this particular program gets triggered. Add / delete summary accounts. And if for some reason it does not trigger this program, then you can manually run this particular program, because this is the program which is actually updating the summary template to your database. So this is completed normal. Now go back to the summary template, F11, control F11. Here you can see the status as current. So that means you can start using this summary template. Okay. Now go back to inquiry, account, period is September. And now in the drop down, you should be able to see the summary template, whatever you have created. Okay. So the summary template total expenses got auto triggered. Just click on OK. Okay. Here you can see there are 3 rows for each company. Okay. 01, all department, all sub account, all product, all what do you call this is all intercompany, and this is going by the 5,000, 6,000, and 7,000, because for this national account segment we have used roll up group. So it is going at a roll up group level, and roll up group of expenses is assigned at the 3 what do you call levels, like 5,000, 6,000, and 7,000. 5,000 is one parent, 6,000 is one parent, and 7,000 is one parent. Now if you do not want to even do that, then what you should have done is, for all the there should have been some other parent which is called total expenses, and for that particular parent, if you have assigned this roll up group, then it would have come as even a single row, 01 hyphen t hyphen the roll up group name of expenses hyphen t and hyphen. So in this case, if you remember in our summary template, I have gone at a company code level, which is 01, and department is total, and this account is at the roll up group level, and roll up group is assigned to the 3 parents. So it is showing the sum of all the expenses under 5,000, under 6,000, and 7,000. So in this case, now if you sum up all these 3, it will give you the sum of expenses of all the expenses under the company code of 01. So click on show balances. So 620,000 plus 35,000 plus 30,000. And if you click on detailed balances, it is going to show up the balances at the corresponding code combination level. So let us assume for 5,000, click on show balances. Here you got 620,000 INR. And for 620,000 INR, click on detail balances. See, it is showing these are the two combinations which are making up that 620,000. Okay. Now we'll try to create one more summary template wherein we will say even T, that is total for a company code level. So that is for all the companies, I want to see the total. Okay. Then you should be able to see only 3 rows. Now you are able to see 3 rows for company 01, 2 rows for company 02. I think for company 02 there are no balances under 6,000. That is the reason why it is not coming up. And again for 3,000 also there is balances only under 5,000 and 7,000. So here we got 5 company codes. So it is showing all the rows for 5 companies. Now we'll try to create a summary template wherein for a company also we'll say it as total. So that means now you should be able to see only 3 rows, and let us try that. Setup, accounts, summary. We will say total company, say name would be all companies expenses. Reliance INR ledger, click on template. And for company, instead of detail, now we will say total. For department, all departments. For accounts, roll-up group of expenses. Sub account, total. Product, total. Intercompany, total. And what is the first period? September 17 is the first period. You want to start using this. Again, a concurrent request triggered. View request. Ensure the request is completed before you start using this. Okay. Requery this. Control C, F11, Control V, Control F11. It is in current, so that means we can start using this. Now go back to inquiry, account, September 17, summary template. Here now we should be able to see 2 templates. Now all companies expenses. See, there are only 3 rows. So for all the companies, for all the departments, for all the sub accounts, for all the product lines, and for all the intercompanies, 5,000 series is total cost of sale. So this is my total cost of sale. 570,000 is my total cost of sale. When I click on detail balances, it is going to show all the combinations which is making up that balance of what is the balance? Balance of 570,000. Similarly, 35,000, and this is the total operating expenses. 50,000 is the total operating expenses of all companies, and this is the breakup. Okay, so this is how you create a summary template and you use that. Any questions here before I proceed with the next topic?
So Arvind, so all the financial reports, right? So those can be run at the summary template level also, right? I mean, same like accounts.
Okay, not exactly. Summary template, even though we are creating a summary template, there's a limited functionality. You can use summary template only in this account inquiry screen. And if you try to build any custom report, in the custom reports you can use the summary template. But unfortunately, in the standard report you do not have any option to select the summary template. Summary template is only used in the account inquiry.
Oh, okay. So ideally, then only in this form you'll be able to see this
Yes,
the
yes, but
summary
as far as,
template, is
yeah,
it?
but as far as the parent-child relationships are concerned, yes, parent values also you can use in some of the standard reports, but not in all the standard reports. But the reason why we go for the summary template or the parent-child is if you build any custom report, you can use these things. I mean, like when you are going for a custom report, you can very well build your own logic, but instead of building your own logic, you can just at least use the logic which is already available for the summary template, because summary template has already I mean, the template is already available and there is a logic written within the template to, so whenever you select the template, it should retrieve only so and so. So at least you can reuse that particular logic in your custom maybe reports.
Okay, okay, got it.
So any other questions?
Hey, Arvind, quick question. Uh, this summary template definition, right? Is it restricted based on the ledger?
Yes. If you remember, like if you go to the summary template, set account, summary, F11, control F11, ledger is mandatory. And if I click on the drop down, I can see that it's coming up only the ledger which is linked to my responsibility. So now we have created two summary templates in Reliance INR. Okay. Now go to General Ledger, Super User, CAD. Okay. Go to Account Inquiry. Okay. Put your cursor here. Click on drop down. It's not coming up. The reason being they are ledger specific. Okay.
Okay. So if that is the case, let's say I have a consolidated ledger available in my system
Mm-hmm.
for this particular business group, like
Okay.
Reliance CAD, Reliance USD, and Reliance INR.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the
And
consolidated responsibility. General Ledger,
the
Super User, Reliance console. Okay.
Yeah. What is the behavior of account inquiry? Can you go and see whether the new created templates are available?
It will not come up. As I said, they are actually specific to a ledger. So even in the consolidated ledger, if you want to use the account inquiry function, sorry, if you want to use the summary template functionality, within the consolidated ledger also, you need to create a similar kind of summary template and you can start using that. See, summary template is
Oh, is
only
it?
helping you in doing an account inquiry. Okay. If you do not want to use a summary template, you can very well go to the account inquiry and then you can do the inquiry of all the company codes under the consolidated ledger.
Okay. Okay. So this is more of an operational activity which an accountant need for their day-to-day update on the overall status.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
So it doesn't help for the extraction of reports or as such. It's only need to have an interaction with the available screens.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you are right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And one more point is like whenever you make some changes to the summary template, when I say make changes to the summary template, that is when you make changes to the parent-child relationship, or when you make changes to the roll-up groups, okay, which will in turn impact the summary template, right? Because when you make a changes to the parent-child relationship, that will impact your all the parents which are assigned to the roll-up group, and that will impact internally, that will impact indirectly, that will impact the summary template. So whenever you make any changes to the summary template, you need to run a program called program incremental add delete summary template. So that's the program which you need to run whenever you make any changes. So this particular program internally updates your summary template. If you do not run this program and make some changes, then you will not be able to see the impact of that in the accounting query. Okay.
Okay, so Arvind, then I mean, if we have any changes at the parent-child level, also the roll-up groups, also you'll have to run the summary and this program, is it?
Yeah, so if you make any changes to the parent-child relationship to which a roll-up group is assigned, and that particular roll-up group is associated with my summary template, then only you need to make these particular changes. If you make changes to some other parent-childs which are not falling under our roll-up group and which is linked to our summary template, you need not run this particular program. So it's basically
And
it's like under my summary template, this is my roll-up group. Under my roll-up group, these are my parents. So if there are changes to any of these parents, then only you need to run this program.
And how do I know if a rollup group is assigned to a summary template?
Okay, so if you go back to our summary template screen, setup accounts, summary.
Yeah, this is understood.
This is my rollup group, right? Okay. Now pick up this rollup group. Now go back to the segment value screen. Okay, what is our value set? Operations account. F11. Copy your rollup group, control F11. So these are the three parents which fall under your rollup group. So you went to summary template, copied the rollup group, came to this particular screen, so queried for this rollup group, and under this particular rollup group, these are my parents. And if there are any changes to the childs of this particular parent, I mean, as we have discussed earlier, this is grayed out. But if it is not grayed out, okay, what you would have done, you would have clicked on define child ranges, then you would have added some childs and deleted some childs.
No, see, my question is here in this screen, I can change the child ranges, right? I mean, after clicking the define ranges. So I make some changes to a parent in for the child ranges, right? After that, if I come back to this screen, I'll pretty much understand that this is assigned to a rollup group, right? So now how do I know if this is assigned to a summary template? So it's like every time I have to go to that screen.
Yes.
And then check it.
Yes, in the screen you cannot see the associated summary template name here. You need to go to the summary template and then query for that. The other alternative would be, okay, in your real life scenario, like you, maybe user can ask the same question, like why should I go there? I do not even know that, or something like that. Okay, in a real life scenario, what you can do is you can even schedule that particular program overnight, because if there are no changes, even then you run the program, there is no harm. It's only just running. And if there are any changes, it is going to automatically take the impact of those changes. Okay, so in our previous client where we were using a summary template, we have actually scheduled that particular program overnight. So that means during a daytime, if any user make these particular changes, he need not even check all these things, whether it is associated to a rollup group and whether the rollup group is associated to a summary template and all those stuff. He's just making changes to the different child ranges, saving, that's it. And overnight there is a scheduled program which will take care of those changes to the summary template by running up that particular program.
Okay.
Does this answer your question?
Yeah, got it. So basically, whenever user does this thing, he should eventually go back and check if this is assigned to a summary template, right?
I mean, like, so in a real world, I'm not asking a user to do that. Okay, but in a testing environment, you need to do that. But in a real world, let the user make the changes. That's it. You schedule that particular program overnight. That's it. Everything will be taken care by system.
Okay, got it.
Okay, Narendra, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so that's the significance of the summary template. So I had clearly explained everything through screenshots in the training material. You can go through that, and even in the BR100 document also all the steps are mentioned. Okay, now we'll get into the other topic. Okay,